As the sun rises over the beautiful hillside of Smithville, Kentucky, we get ready to celebrate and honor the rural American way of life, a modern cowboy lifestyle rich with tradition. We'll visit with Dr. Stephen Allday, a world-renowned veterinarian in the horse racing circuit. With his knowledge and expertise, he developed a revolutionary product that has helped many get into the winner's circle. So you better hit record on the DVR. This is one of those shows that you'll want to watch more than once. After graduating in 1985, Dr. Allday has had a life full of successes as a veterinarian in the horse racing circuit. He became interested in horse lameness after a family quarter horse developed a particularly difficult case. After years of research, he co-developed a joint supplement that normally would have required administering injections. This oral version promotes joint function, which results in better performance. Today we visit with Dr. Allday on his beautiful horse farm in Smithville, Kentucky. Dr. Allday, thanks for having us here at the ranch. You got a beautiful place here, and you returned last night from a roping that you went to. Tell me how you did down there.
Well, I got a little piece. I didn't get a whole lot, but I enjoy the roping. It's something I did, as a teenager and then up until my 20s, and then they gave it up for 30 years, and I picked it back up 5 years ago. And I've had the bug. I guess my wife says I'm addicted, so.
Dr. Stephen Allday is 100% cowboy, and he handles his business the way he handles his animals, with love and commitment. As we look around the house here, house filled with dogs, the birds back in the back, and a very special cat that you have.
We got a cat that we got back in the early 90s. He's 20 now, and the birds we've had for better than 20 years, one of them, and the other one's about 16 or 17. So they'll be around longer than we will probably. And then we've adopted a Great Dane. We got the boxers, and we got the English setter, and we got the horses and the cows, and but we enjoy them all. They're all part of our life. And we take good care of them. We're proud of the care we take of them.
Was that instilled in you from an early age from your parents?
Well, my dad, has a master's degree, and he was an educator. And my mom ended up going back to college when I was about 13. I wanted to be a veterinarian, and you go to school, and every other person you meet's a pre-vet, and so that likelihood is not everybody's going to make it. And then you get to doubting yourself a little bit, whether maybe I'm not going to be good enough. And I never thought that way. I always really felt like I was suited, and I really think I thought I'd done the homework, and I'd really done the preparation, both mentally and then scholastically. And as it turned out, I guess I might have been right, because it worked out pretty good, and it's taken good care of me. It's given me everything I have here. So.
Dr. Allday, tell me about your business partner here and your lovely wife, Kim. Love at first sight?
Probably my part it was. I think it took me a while to get her attention. But
Kim and Steve make a wonderful couple. They not only share the same passion for animals, but they come from the same lifestyle and family values. Tell me about your kids.
Well, I got daughter, 27, and son, it's 24. Both of them college graduates, and my daughter worked for us for a while and did our marketing and our graphics, and basically moved on to a better job. She got paid more by somebody else. And then my son works in our shipping department, does quite a great job for us, and then he also plays music too. He's a music and business major, and he's very successful, very talented.
Dr. Allday's family works together, and the rest of the LubriSyn team is like their extended family.
I'm blessed to have some really, really great people with me. I feel like these are my friends, along with being, people that we worked with. I don't like calling them employees. I think they're people we're all in the same boat. We're all rowing in the same direction, so we work together. We have a common goal and a common purpose. What we're going to do is we're going to go down this lane here and then come back with the cattle back up this way.
Dr. Allday, you're kind of living the American dream. Not only being a veterinarian, but being an animal lover being American, being a cowboy?
It's been perfect for me, and I got no complaints, but I got to do exactly what I want to do on an everyday basis. It's not really like a job. It's a labor of love on a daily basis, what it comes down to. Taking care of the horses, working with the clientele I have, the race horses, my animals. I can't work on everybody's horses, and I can't work on everybody's cattle, but I can give you a part of my knowledge in the products that we produce, and we feel like they give you the results that would be similar to the way I would practice.
Stockshow Confidential is brought to you by the following sponsors: Sullivan Show Supply and Stockshow University, Sure Champ, Showmaster Feeds, Justin Discount Boots and Cowboy Outfitters, EB Trailer, LubriSyn Livestock, and StockshowConfidential.com. For maximum performance in the show ring, LubriSyn Livestock. For lifelong joint health, LubriSyn Livestock. For stock show animals and your beloved pet, LubriSyn Livestock. LubriSyn Livestock's oral supplement, developed by Dr. Stephen Allday, is safe and 100% all natural. LubriSyn Livestock's patented hyaluronic acid formula ensures the integrity of synovial fluid, the key component for protection and lubrication of all joints. Keep your livestock floating with LubriSyn Livestock. Welcome back to Stockshow Confidential. I'll tell you folks, we've really been blessed with a beautiful day here in Kentucky, or as I like to call it, horse country. We're visiting with Dr. Stephen Allday at his horse farm, learning more about LubriSyn, a revolutionary oil joint supplement. To learn more about the benefits, we'll talk to a very successful horse trainer who really knows firsthand what it takes to reach the winner's circle. Well, friends, I'm alongside of Alex Hassinger, and he's the Vice President of Business Development for the LubriSyn family of products. Now, Alex, long history of horse racing in your background. Tell me about how you got started in the horse racing industry.
Well, I was lucky enough, my uncle was John Gaines, who owned Gainesway Farm here in Lexington, which was probably one of the biggest thoroughbred farms in history, and started coming to Kentucky when I was about 11. So I was introduced to the thoroughbred game that way, and then he suggested I go to the racetrack and try my hand at maybe training horses. So I did that in 1984 and stayed on the racetrack for 20 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So what's probably the most incredible accomplishment during that 20 years?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have two really good horses that won the Breeders' Cup. I won the Breeders' Cup in 1992 with a filly named Eliza, who was champion 2-year-old that year. She won over $1 million just as a 2-year-old.
Eliza is home free! Eliza does it! So Eliza with the 1-length triumph.
And then in 1999, another colt by the name of Anise won the Breeders' Cup, and he was champion 2-year-old as well, and I was able to run him in the Kentucky Derby the next year.
And Anise is rocketing down the center of the track, and he's gonna blow by them all! He passed 13 horses to win!
Entered in the Kentucky Derby, I think, was a huge accomplishment.
How'd you get involved with the LubriSyn family?
I've been associated with Dr. Allday probably almost 25 years, and I was assistant for Dick Lundy, who's the president of the company, and he was having Steve work on some horses, and we met at Churchill Downs. He was an encyclopedia of knowledge, just really not about lameness, but about really how to care for a horse and you know, what's important about caring for him. But in the thoroughbred game, we had to make him go fast.
Dr. Allday is one of the pioneers, I guess you would say, as far as lameness is concerned, not only in horses, but now in cattle and pigs and lambs and goats, all dogs for that matter.
He's learned so much, and I think he's was started with the right, veterinarians when he first came on the scene, and then through his working with some of the best thoroughbreds, in the world. I mean, he traveled worldwide. Was to really understand lameness, and then in conjunction with that, developing the LubriSyn family of products was a really good fit. And in the natural evolution was to go into the livestock world because it's big. They have the same problems and situations that me as a racehorse guy would have.
Right.
You get to the barn every day, you want to make sure that your steer or your show hog is healthy, they look healthy, they travel sound, because you have to produce a product That's go into the ring and impress a judge.
Sure.
And so it's everything that you have to look at.
Well, that's one of the things about whether you're in the racehorse business, stock show industry, when we step inside the ring, we expect to win.
Exactly. So you want to take that edge.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're here, to give people that edge. Bring to the livestock world the revolutionary science that I've been accustomed to through Dr. Allday for a lot of years.
Well, LubriSyn has evolved, and the evolution of this product into the livestock industry was a pretty natural. People asked me if they could use it on steers. I hadn't actually done any studies, either ruminants or any type of livestock, but one of the first people had used it on some show steers in Texas and contacted me, and we played with some dosages. And then I had a couple of young kids, we're in high school and we're showing show pigs, and they were using it and having great success because their parents had used the horse product. So I met a young man that came into our company from Wyoming, and he'd shown pigs as a young man, and he suggested when he was working with us that this product would be very, very applicable, LubriSyn Livestock as it's now named.
Well, when I first started for Dr. Allday and working for LubriSyn and LubriSyn Livestock itself and LubriSyn as a product, I didn't know a whole lot about. I started looking at the back of the labels, researching it, and realized that it was completely 100% all natural, and that we could put this into the livestock show industry without any ramifications. I noticed the massive impact LubriSyn can have. So I was along with many other people in that industry with problems in the joint itself that we are always constantly trying to fix or hide.
LubriSyn Livestock would be applicable in the show steer and pig industry and lambs and all the show animal industry because of the problems they have. Lameness seemed to be a pretty common entity that a lot of them were not really having great success with, and the only products that were essentially available were versions of glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate. And I had utilized quite a bit of glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate in racehorses over the years and had never had any success with it, so I basically stayed away from it. I thought it was just a waste of my time and money, and my clients as well, so I just didn't use it. Cody Lane convinced me that we would go forward and try this. As it's been applied, we've had great success.
Let's talk about some of the successes that you've seen throughout your history, not only in just the horse world, but livestock in general.
Some of the results I saw were immediate. I remember one 2-year-old filly had some puffy ankles, and in 2 to 3 days that inflammation came down. Huge advantage, huge change. And then progressing forward, I use it on my dogs. The success stories are really, they're numerous is what it is.
I had a filly that was like one of the best 2-year-old fillies in the country. She'd gotten a little time off, and what we did was we put her on the product in order to try to help her give some downtime, keep her joints solid. What we did was we supplemented this filly, and as it turned out, she got better and better and better, and essentially ran the first 4 races of her 3-year-old year without any intra-articular injections at all, and won the Kentucky Oaks.
We've had success over and over on the racetrack, and the greatest thing is since we've been established in the livestock show industry, it just carried right on over. And the most recent one was probably at the Denver Stockshow. A lot of those division winners, top hogs that were winning in those shows were actually LubriSyn hogs. LubriSyn was present, and everybody noticed it.
The great thing about the product is we've seen professionals utilize it every day. I mean, Kentucky Derby winners, large livestock events. But really, we have more and more customers all the time that are using it for everyday use. People just ride on the weekend, or they, have pleasure horses or trail riding. It's one that's very easy to use. It's top dressed on a horse's food. It's odorless and tasteless, so it's easy for them to take. They never know it's in their feed tub. The other thing is it's also very affordable. It helps you reduce and or eliminate the need for any kind of joint injections or other injectable products. So there, it brings your costs down on a per day and per month, which is everybody's concerned about. But the most important thing is it increases the longevity of your animal. With the fact that most mammals are going to face some sort of arthritis in their time, if you start it early enough and use it as a preventative, then you won't maybe have those major issues down the road. You know, the best of the best have used it. We have people that are using it on their weekend horses.
That's that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly right.
Well, friends, be sure and check out StockshowConfidential.com, our Breeders' Corner. We have the top lamb, goat, pig, and cattle breeders listed there. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Madison Belcher. I'm 12 years old, and I just won Denver National Western Stock Show with the goat I bought from Schaefer Farms. For your next Grand Champion animal, do what I did. Go to StockshowConfidential.com, Breeders' Corner.
Advertise on StockshowConfidential.com, Breeders' Corner. It's where the winners shop, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Sign up for a listing on our Breeders' Corner, upload your logo, and be ready for your first customer like Madison. Visit the webpage, StockshowConfidential.com, or call me, Terry, 432-416-0379. Welcome back to Stock Show Confidential. We're in some beautiful horse country in Smithville, Kentucky, visiting with Dr. Allday and the LubriSyn family. Dr. Allday created and co-developed this unique patented formula.
I was born and raised on a horse farm, native Texan originally. I was around the horse business there. I always wanted to go to veterinary school, and I graduated in 1985 from Texas A&M's College of Vet Medicine. As a kid, I had met a renowned veterinarian that had done mainly lameness work, Edwin Churchill. He was head of the large animal clinic at University of Pennsylvania and had started the Widener Clinic in New Bolton Center there. And he was quite influential because he's the first veterinarian I'd seen that just did lameness work for a living. Once I became a veterinarian, I did my internship with him. My exposure to Dr. Churchill had shown me that he was a pioneer and was the first veterinarian, actually probably the first person that had ever used a purified hyaluronic acid molecule in order to restore or to try to help restore joint function to racehorses' joints. And as we know, arthritis is essentially the breakdown of cartilage. The more cartilage you lose, the more arthritic symptoms you have. The way that we utilize hyaluronic acid now is via a product that is produced via a biofermentation route. And once that's filtered, it doesn't have any contaminants, proteins, or anything, so you get the most purified form of it. We started giving the oral formulation on a daily basis, dispersing it to a number of different joints because arthritis is not, isolated usually just to one joint. Usually it's multi-sites as a rule. The metabolism of hyaluronic acid, when it's given to an animal from an exogenous source, it is essentially metabolized and does all it's going to do within a 36-hour period. With age, you don't produce as much of it, so therefore, your face becomes more wrinkled. As you get older, you'll notice that your joints creak and pop and your range of motion is somewhat decreased. As in your skin, you see more wrinkles and it's not nearly as resilient or it becomes a little bit thinner. So these are all normal aging process changes and you see them in all animals with time.
The LubriSyn product line is helping both humans and animals have a higher quality of life. To learn more about their products, I visited their state-of-the-art facilities. Their friendly and specialized staff's number one priority is quality. One of the keys to their success relies on the processing of colostrum for reborn and maxtrum. I'm talking from experience. I've been on LubriSyn for a while, and now I feel great.
The whole purpose of the way that we do the processing here is to try to keep it in the best quality that we can. What that means is that we don't use any heat in the processing. It is frozen very quickly in that, which of course will keep any kind of bacteria or any kind of contamination to a minimum. And we take the bags and we open them, and then we put them in these barrels. All three of these rooms are refrigerated. When we're doing the processing in this room is actually below 50 degrees. We go through the press, then we go back into this tank, and it's held there as we're going through the filling process. Then it's put right back into a freezer and frozen. The colostrum coming out of the cow starts to turn to milk very rapidly. After the first two milkings, there is a significant amount of drop. So there's a lot of factors.
As we talk about maxtrum, that is as good a protein content or as good a supplement that you can get because it's just like mother's milk.
Take what colostrum is, which is extremely significant. The problem is no one was able to harness it. We figured out how to harness it. With that, we concentrated it. In making it concentrated, we actually made it about 3 times more potent than the colostrum coming out of the udder of the cow. Now, the significance of that is that We have extremely elevated growth factors, jack the immune system up at all times and rejuvenate the epithelial tissue within the GI tract, reboot the GI tract, and we have 4 natural growth factors in there that cause a proliferation of the lean muscle mass and dense bone growth. So you add that with the LubriSyn and the genetics these people have and the nutrition that is available, you have an animal that really hasn't been seen before.
So if someone wanted to find the product, how would they go about that?
It'd be easy. All you have to do is go www.LubriSynLivestock.com or call in at 855-299-7223.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Terry, thank you.
Yeah. You know, raising and competing show animals takes more than good nutrition. It takes determination, dedication, and hard work, traits that are hallmarks to leaders. And that's why Showmaster is proud to feed the potential of the youth leaders through their educational programs, award programs, and support of the 4-H and FFA. Showmaster Feed continues to build the legacy of building champions through their innovative feed programs and nutritional research. Showmaster Feeds. Feed their potential. Tell me about a day in the life here at the ranch.
Well, it's interesting to say the least, but why don't we go get some horses saddled up and we'll go look around. I'll show you around the place.
Sounds good to me. Let's head that way.
Yeah, we've lived a lot of different places in the last 25 years, but this has been home now for 17, so we're pretty happy with it. We have really, really good grass here. It's good for horses, it's good for cattle. It's, the animals, livestock does really good on the grass here, every kind of animal. Kim and I are both Aggies. We both went to Texas A&M, and I met her through a friend of mine, a guy that's a veterinarian, that's a year ahead of me in vet school. We met, started dating in 1978, and then we've been together ever since. Pretty much. We got married in 1981.
It's always good to have a good sidekick, huh?
Oh yeah, no, she's more than a good sidekick. She's a pretty good partner.
I tell everybody that they say behind every successful man's a good woman.
Yeah.
I always like to tell everybody, don't put them behind you, put them at your side, and you'll be a lot better off.
I put her in front of me and I just follow her. I mean, we traveled pretty much everywhere. Then I've spent a winter in New Orleans, and then I've traveled in every major circuit in the country as far as racing is concerned. I've gone to Saratoga for the summers, and the racing has taken me pretty much everywhere. But bottom line is that the place that we finally set our roots down was here in Kentucky because the people are really, really good. The horse business thrives here, and it just really fit where I was going and practicing, vet medicine on the racetrack. So here we are.
It's been a real pleasure, and thanks for joining some Stock Show Confidential. Thanks for riding along with us this week, and we have a little tagline that says, "Here's hoping we see you in the winner's circle." Well, I know you've been there plenty of times through the racehorse industry, and you're going to put a lot more people there in that winner's circle with the products from LubriSyn.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.